Hello, this is Dr. Go. If you're new to my videos, these were created as a resource center for my students. I've been a professional violinist for almost 30 years, be it as a professional orchestra player, professional soloist, lecturer, so on and so forth. I hope that my life's work and experiences will be useful to some of you out there, and I wish you all the best. So let's get on to today's video. So in a musical phrase, taking time, playing with dynamics in order to bring out the structure of the phrase, these are essential basics for any musical venture. For example, I'm going to be using the opening theme to my arrangement of Amazing Grace. The first thing we want to do is we want to identify the beginning, the end, and the climax or culmination point of the phrase or subphrase we are working with. In this case, I'm just working with the first subphrase. Just that much. So, for the interest of time for this video, that's all we're going to do. Now, beginning, of course, we know that's the beginning, and the end, we know that's the end. Where's the culmination point? I like that part. Right in D. So that will be my intended culmination point. Usually culmination point will be closer to the end of a phrase or a subphrase. That's something that can be learned through experience, through listening to a lot of music. If you analyze chords, you can see it pretty clearly. If you can feel the weight of a melody or harmony, it's very easy to see. Once you've made those decisions, the next thing is to make sure you can play everything in time, really know what you're doing before you start taking everything apart. So, in this case, I have quarter note, followed by half note, eighth and 2/16, half note, quarter, half, quarter, half. So those are my notes that I'm dealing with, my times. And so I'm going to count in eighth notes. I'll be beating my foot. I hope this can be heard. And I'm going to try to keep this relatively straight. The first time through, we're going to keep it as straight as possible so we know what we're dealing with. You don't have to go fast. You just have to know how to define the boundaries of what you're going to work with. So this is my tempo. Straightforward. Once we have control of that, we're happy with our execution of that. Personally, I would practice this a bit more. Once we're happy with the execution, we can start to take time and play with dynamics a bit. Vibrato is fitted exactly with dynamics. General rule is the louder you get, the faster vibrato. The softer you get, the slower vibrato. Of course, every rule is meant to be broken depending on the phrase, the musical shape that you want. Of course, this comes through experimentation. In this case, this is a relatively simple subphrase. I'm going to start slower, speed up towards the culmination point, and slow back down to the ending point, away from the culmination point. This is what that would sound like. So that's what that would sound like. Now, what if we decide to add a few more nuances in? Now we have time, dynamics, all worked in. Maybe we can add some other sounds into the mix. And what if we play with that eighth and 2/16 area? broaden that a bit for an artistic flair of sorts. So, in that way, we're really taking advantage of the rhythmic patterns in the phrase or subphrase. So these are just a few ideas of things we can play with. And of course, when we take advantage of rhythmic figures, we can play with contact point, colors, vibrato, different parts of the finger for a different sound, all sorts of really cool and interesting things to play with. Well, if there's anything that I said that is contrary to what your teacher told you, please ignore me, listen to your teacher. But if not, I hope this begins a discussion on things you can try for making beautiful music on your violin. And as always, I wish all of you a wonderful journey on this incredible instrument, the violin. Cheers.